Hey everyone, my name's Courtney. I write under the pen names Lyra Parish, and I'm one half of the USA Today bestselling duo Kennedy Fox. And today I'm coming to you with a 2019 bullet journal overview. Most of you know I am a bullet journal keeper. I have been keeping a bullet journal since 2017. So 2019 will be my third year bullet journaling. I actually went to a digital version of bullet journaling with my iPad Pro at the beginning of the year around the May-June time period, and I can't say that I'm 100% in love with it. So I decided for 2019 I'm going back to my bullet journal. So I thought that I would show you how I set up my 2019. Let's go ahead and get started. This is my bullet journal, and it is a, how do you say this word? Ludstrom, I don't know, 1917. All the professional bullet journalers use this brand. I'm actually not that impressed with it, but I'm so committed already that I don't feel like I can start over. I do have a different bullet journal to use for 2020. I'm not in love with this bullet journal because of ghosting, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So, of course, I'm gonna fill this out, but I didn't want to give you all my personal information, so I just put my name and what year it was for. Of course, you've got your index up at the front. I kind of wish this wasn't here because I don't really use an index. And this is what I'm talking about with the ghosting. It is terrible in this bullet journal. My other one is a Scribbles, and it is not like this at all. But like I said, I am already committed. So we're going to start off here. And this is the 2019 calendar. I did this all with the Sharpie pen. This right here is my quote that I'm going to live by for 2019, which is to create a life that I don't need a vacation from. As you all know, I am in the works of trying to quit that day job. So my goal is to be successful in 2019 and set myself up for success to be able to keep the same lifestyle and quit my job, because lifestyle is important to me, guys. I've been working for so long and writing for so long that I don't want to change my travel lifestyle or the money that I spend. So when I do quit, I have to make sure that I can continue living the way that I'm living right now. I don't need an extravagant lifestyle, but I would like to still be able to do the things that I love to do, like travel. Continuing on here, I've got a future log, which is broken up by your months. Right here, I'm going to put important dates, vacation days, holidays for work, things of that nature. Continuing on, I've got my 2019 goals. I think it's important to know what your goals are and why you have those goals. I've been really trying to think about that over the last few weeks. I will not actually fill this page out until right before the new year because I want to make sure that the goals that I create are somewhat attainable, not like crazy outlandish goals. I put another page for important dates because I think it's really important for me to see an overall spread of important dates, especially because I have vacation to keep up with, release dates, holidays, all on one page. Next up is my weight loss tracker. I have a goal for my weight loss. I'm not quite there yet. I do have an exercise goal for next year. I'm trying to work out 4 times a week, possibly 5 times a week. And that's not going to CrossFit or doing all those things that I'm doing. That's getting my 10,000 steps. I'm counting that. Just being active. I think it's important to be heart healthy. So I made an exercise tracker for the entire year, and I'm going to track my milestones. And also I've got a little quote down here at the bottom that says, "You didn't come this far to only come this far." I literally have about 30 pounds to lose at this point. I started with 35 because I keep going between the range of 195 and 200, so I just made it 35 pounds. But on New Year's Day, I am going to weigh myself, and if I've lost 5 pounds from that, then that's the weight that I'm gonna go with. So I do have weight loss goals this year, and I want to make my goal before my birthday. I might be living that keto life. But moving right along, I have got my passwords and addresses. I do have the same spread in my previous bullet journal, and each year I transfer the addresses over just because it's good to have them in one place. I think it's very important to write down my passwords because when I change them, I will add another symbol and I can't remember what it is. So I'm just going to keep all of my passwords on this page, I will know what accounts they're for because I'm gonna put them in some sort of code. So in case I lose my bullet journal, God forbid that ever happen, I will not make myself easily susceptible to hackers or people trying to get into my shiz. Next up is my debt snowball tracker, and my goal, or one of my main goals in 2019, is to get out of debt. When I get out of debt, I will be able to quit my job sooner to write full time. I do not want to quit my job and have the debt that I have right now. So it's important for me to list all of my debts. I'm going to list my minimum payments and all of the money that I make from writing this year. 90% of that is going to go to my debt, student loans, vehicles, credit cards, all of that. I want it to go away. I am very fortunate. Me and my husband do not have a mortgage. Our house is paid for. So once all the credit cards and student loans and vehicles are gone and paid for, I don't have a mortgage. So basically all that has to be paid are your regular utility bills, cell phones, and then the rest of it can go into savings. So I think this is super, super important for me to track my debt and to basically get rid of it, knock it down. I'll be using the Dave Ramsey Snowball plan, Financial University, whatever it is. That's what I will be doing. Next up is my travel page. I am in love with this page, and the reason why is because I actually have a map where it's like a lottery ticket and I scratch off each state I go to, and one of my main bucket list items is to visit all 50 states. And I'm not talking about visit as in drive through them. I mean, if that was the case, I would probably have this whole side of the map filled. I'm talking about visiting them and actually staying the night in those states. And so these are all the states that I have right now, and I would love to go to all 50. The goal is 50 before 50, guys, and I've got 15 years to do that. So, yeah, that's something that I really want to do. So if you are a host of a signing and you have any of these states that are not in my little colored key, invite me and I might actually consider it. I did some little drawings here. I'm not an artist, guys. I don't claim to be. I know some of you are probably going to ask how I got this map. I actually printed a map and I traced it. That's how bad the ghosting is in this Lodstrom whatever journal. So I put it underneath here. I drew it out. You can see Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, all these states in the middle are a lot longer than what they should be. Next up, this is my 19 and 2019. And it's supposed to be like 19 goals that happened in 2019, but I think I'm going to make it 19 really positive things that happened to me in 2019. And so every time I have one of those personal victories or personal wins, I'm just going to come and write it in this box. For the next page, which is 2020 planning, I always need something to see when release dates are, or when I plan on going on vacations or signings or whatever the case is for 2020 or like the future year. So I made this page to keep me up to date with the next year. I made a monthly lessons learned in 2019 because I feel like at the end of the year, it's hard to remember January. So if you asked me something great that happened to me in January, I'm not sure that I would be able to recall that exactly. My goal is at the end of every month to come in here and write some main lesson that I learned in my life in 2019. So at the end of the year, when I go back and reflect on my year, I've got it all laid out. If I learned something or there's this big light bulb moment or something just amazing happens or something that was a fail that maybe, you know, I could have learned from that, I'm going to come here and I'm going to fill this out every single month at the end of the month. Moving right along, I've got 2019 in photos. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out photos from my Instagram and place them here on this page. I think it'll make a really cool collage to put different things here of fun stuff that happened, and I'll kind of like come back and have a little scrapbook at the end of the year. Next up is my YouTube ideas page. I've got a lot of pages in my other bullet journal and they're split up by months. So when I have like different ideas, I have to go between the months to try to look at different topics that I wrote down. So I thought it'd be nice to just list them here on this page. So whenever I'm thinking about video ideas or whatever the case is, I can just go to my main YouTube page and I can find a topic from here and go with that. I've got a goal to post 1 video per week in 2019, which will give me 52 videos. And after I post a video, I'm going to come and write the title here so I can keep up with it. Next up is my social stats for Lyra Parish and for Kennedy Fox. I love tracking throughout the month to see the growth in our different social media accounts. My plan is to update it on the first day of every month, and then at the end of the year I've got a start and end in the overall growth for the year. If you're wondering what this stands for, it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and BookBub. That's for my own. And then for Kennedy Fox, it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our Facebook group, because it's pretty active. I think right now we have over 3,000 or 3,100 members in our group, and then BookBub as well. Next up, I've got my books to read and my movies to watch. I don't really watch a lot of movies, but sometimes there are movies I want to watch, and then by the time I do have time to sit down and watch them, I don't remember what they are. Books to read, this is going to count audiobooks or any kind of books. Basically, my 2018 sucked. I can't say that I read a lot or did a lot of reading or audiobook listening to at all. So I want to change that in 2019 and focus more on listening to books or reading them, because I really enjoy it. I just really haven't had time to read anything but our books. Next up, I have a Write All the Words tracker. And basically what this is going to do is help me track how much I'm writing each day. My goal, as I've said in a previous video, is to write 1,500 words a day, Monday through Friday, and then bust booty on the weekends. And so I want to keep up with that. I do have a writing partner, which you all know, but I keep track of the words that I also write individually. So then I know that I'm keeping on track. The goal is to every day keep up with how much I'm writing and see how much I wrote at the end of each month. And then at the end, I'm going to tally it all up and probably write over here what my total yearly count of words is. I think it'll be really fun to see how much I'm actually able to do. And then when I do quit my job, I'm going to compare that to what I did when I had a job. And I'm not going to let myself give myself any sort of excuses, because without a job, I should be able to write more than what I'm writing with a job. And so this is for me, for future Courtney to compare to. And I've got a few pages for literary ideas. This is basically going to be scratch, where if I think of a great idea for a book or whatever, 2 pages for that, because I wanted to make sure that I had enough room to just write whatever. This right here is marketing ideas. So if I come up with anything that I think is like brilliant and I'm at work and I'm like, oh my God, I just had the best idea for marketing, and maybe I can't send a quick text message, I'm going to write it down here so then I can think about it further, maybe do a little research and expand upon it. I've got a page for Kennedy Fox plans, and this is basically another scratch pad where I can write stuff for Kennedy Fox. I'm sure most of these beginning pages are going to be Kennedy Fox or really whatever, but this is a specific page for KF, and I feel like honestly 1 page is not going to be enough. I did make a Lyra Parish plans page because I do eventually want to redo some backlist stuff. I've got some plans, I think, for single that I want to try to accomplish in 2019, but if it doesn't happen, then it's not a big deal because we're really busy in 2019. But if I have any kind of future ideas for my own pen name, I'm going to write them here. I do eventually want to publish again under my name. I don't know when that's going to happen. This is basically sheets to write those sort of ideas down. Next up is a building ideas and a house to do. Me and my husband are going to build another shop. His got destroyed in Hurricane Harvey, where he does all of his glasswork, because guys, I'm married an artist. We have specific things that we want for our building that we are going to build, and I thought this would be a great place to put those ideas. House to do is just basically general house things like clean out the closet, paint the house, spray the deck, whatever, landscape, those sorts of big items that are specifically for the house. I got a needs and wants page just because sometimes I need something and it's really more like a want, not a need. So I feel like before I purchase anything, since I am trying to get out of debt next year, it'll be important to write down my needs on one side, my wants on the other, and then go through and see what is really a need and want before there are any purchases made. crazy wish list. This is like if, you know, we sell 1 million copies of books. I just think it's fun to think about crazy, outlandish things that like I would not buy right now. But maybe one day if, you know, I win the lottery or we sell 1 million copies. Next up is my savings for 2019. My goal is to save $5,000 next year. I've got it listed out by what I need to save in each one of my checks. As long as I put this amount in my savings account, by the end of the year, I should have $5,000. And I think that's it as far as my collections. I do have my January spread pretty much set up, but instead of going through that, I think I'm going to do another video that's going to be a January plan with me. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video. I hope that y'all really enjoyed my little flip through so you can see the things that I've got in my bullet journal, the collections that I think are important to me. A lot of it's literary based, a lot of it's personal, but that's the great thing about a bullet journal, guys. You can make it whatever you want. I did used to buy Erin Condren. I can't do it anymore because it doesn't fit exactly what I need, and I feel like with a bullet journal, I can make whatever page that I want. I did leave a few pages in between January and my collections, just in case there's something else that I decide that I want to add. I want to be able to do that, and so I leave all these pages close to the end of the year. If for some reason these pages are still blank, I'll use them as scratch paper, notepads, a place to jot down different ideas, but I wanted to make sure that I left enough for my collections. Trust me, these pages will not get wasted. That concludes my 2019 collection setup for my bullet journal. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions about bullet journals, feel free to leave them below, guys. And yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon. All right, bye.